Okay, sounds good. So it looks like we have begun recording. So welcome everyone to the 76th annual UN Day. We're super excited to have you all here. Thank you once again to everyone who popped in early to test out their audio, and thank you for everyone who's been here for bearing with us. So why are we here today? The UN's birthday is this Sunday, I believe, October 24th. So in lieu of having you all sit on a Zoom on a Sunday, we thought it might be easier to do it during the week. So thank you so much for being here. So 2020, 2021 have been very difficult, and I feel like we've all been zoomed out. But, we still want to take the time to celebrate the UN, the work that's been going on, and specifically the work that has been happening here in Chicago. There's a lot of really great projects that have been going on, a lot of really amazing people doing some incredible work. So this year, we'll talk about UN Day, we'll talk about the global goals, and we'll go into more detail about that. But I'd really like to have this day kind of be more focused on how we can continue doing work, even from home, with any amount of effort or time that you have. There's always a way to get involved, always a way to feel like you're making an impact. So with that being said, we can kind of go ahead and move forward. I'm Maggie. If I haven't introduced myself, I'm the president of UNA Chicago. Actually, we'll go back. So first, I wanted to kind of talk about UNA Chicago a little bit, let you all know about our organization, the work that we're doing. So we are a local volunteer run and led organization. We are part of a group of United Nations associations across the US, and we report to UNA USA, which is our national chapter, which is actually part of the UN Foundation. So it's really great that we have that tied to the actual UN. Occasionally they send us questions that they want us to answer. They really value that connection that they have to the local chapters and the opinions that, the members of the local chapters have. So it's a really unique organization in that way. And we specifically do work as it relates to the UN in a couple of specific ways. So the first one is advocacy. And I just want to give a little shout out to our advocacy team, and specifically our advocacy director, who I'm not sure is on the line yet, but he'll probably see the recording. So Ben, congrats on a big win. So last week, the Chicago City Council unanimously passed a resolution that UNA Chicago co-led alongside the Truman National Security Project, their Chicago chapter, that established Chicago as a city that is willing, ready, and able to resettle Afghan refugees. So we're very excited about that. I know it was a huge lift. So congrats, Ben and advocacy team. I know you all did some really great work for that. So thank you. And I know that was important. It was important to get local leaders involved in this, but it's also important to keep doing work that further helps these types of causes. So that's where our second way of getting involved comes in. So the second way that UNA Chicago does work in Chicago is the global goals. So we love the global goals so much. We have a whole award ceremony, which is why you're all here. Most of you are here today for. So we'll get going into that a little later. But the global goals, if you're not familiar with them, here is a little graphic of them. There's 17 sustainable development goals that the UN has decided are top priority through 2030. They're pretty all-encompassing. It's pretty difficult to find something that falls outside of these goals. So another way that we're doing work in Chicago is we've actually created a Global Goals Ambassador Program. And I know there are some ambassadors here today who can definitely tell you more about their experience in Chicago. So our ambassadors are currently they've picked a goal that they're very passionate about, and they help us by either advocating for their goal, creating partnerships in Chicago for their goal, helping us identify service opportunities for their goal, or anything that can fall inside that realm of, helping us achieve the goal on a local level. That's something that we love to talk about at UNA Chicago, is bringing all these big global concepts locally, because I know that a lot of people think that the work of the UN is, somewhere else, somewhere far away from us, but it's actually here in Chicago every single day. So that's what our Global Goals Ambassador Program aims to do. And what's neat is that actually Chicago had the first Global Goals Ambassador program. And after that, our national chapter, actually one of our leaders went to the national chapter and she took the Global Goals Ambassador program with her. So that was really exciting to see. So with that being said, we have a couple of speakers here today who are part of the Global Goals Ambassador program at the national level. So let me just make sure that we have both of them on the line. Let's see here. I wonder if Roger is here. I do see Paul. Okay, I will make sure that Roger joins, but Paul, I was wondering if I could introduce you first since I see you on my screen.
That sounds good. I'm just gonna switch over right now to the towards my laptop, okay?
No rush at all. So with that being said, yeah, our national chapter has a similar Global Goals Ambassador program. Our ambassador program in UNA Chicago is more focused toward local action. And previously, before COVID, we were engaging with the community in person and creating events in person. Whereas I know the national chapter has done a great job of engaging people virtually, which has been very exciting. And, we're kind of taking notes from them. So we have a couple of ambassadors on the line who can share their experiences with us. So first I'll introduce Paul. So Paul Presentu is currently the outreach manager for Sustainable Westchester, a nonprofit consortium of 44 municipal governments to address the critical issues in environmental sustainability throughout the Westchester County in New York. Paul was recently appointed as UNA USA's Global Goal Ambassador for Sustainable Development 13, which is climate action. He is committed to uplifting individuals of all socioeconomic backgrounds, as he is a son of Colombian and Haitian immigrants with a stepmother from the Philippines. He is the co-founder and co-chair of the New York State Association of Conservation Commission's Environmental Justice Forum, and he's also the co-chair of the nonprofit Green Latinos National Working Group on Climate Action and Clean Air. So actually, I can go ahead and switch to your slide. So Paul, go ahead, please. Feel free to add to that introduction and share a little bit more about your experiences with the program as well.
Yeah, the first thing I'd like to say is thanking all of you for your leadership. The things that you're doing as the leaders for the Civil Society of the United Nations really is very, very important. It's important that we try to leverage the relationships and resources we have here in America to assume a position of stewardship and to help lead on a global stage. And what you have done at the University of Chicago, especially with trailblazing this Global Goals Ambassadorship, has been really phenomenal and has been an invaluable experience, both to myself and to my fellow ambassadors for the United Nations Association of America. My work in climate action has been really in helping build the bench, as I could say, helping streamline resources for youth development, and also helping address issues that have been longstanding in regards to the systematic disconnect that people of color have been experiencing with accessing resources for the mitigation of longstanding issues in our communities. I have been exposed to a wealth of organizations that exist out there. I actually shared with Maggie and Amanda a resource of intersectional organizations that people can reach out to for Indigenous environmental advocacy, Asian and Pacific Islander environmental advocacy, Black environmental advocacy, Hispanic environmental advocacy, and as well as an organization I recently connected with earlier this week called Green the Church, which is trying to empower members of our clergy to take a stand on addressing climate change. It's really important that we do this, but we do a paradigm shift. It's really important. It's great that we have these international dialogues, but what's really important is that what we can do at the local level. These are the things that I've been experiencing with my employment at Sustainable Westchester, help pass resolutions to establish conservation advisory committees to help local leaders that are environmentally inclined in scientific information to help advise local municipal policies. Because it's much easier for you to get in contact with your mayor or your fellow members of the city council than it is for you to get in contact with Congressman Meeks, who's the chair of the International Relations Committee for the U.S. House of Representatives. And at another level of the issue, a lot of people are our age, that are young, probably don't even know who their local representatives are in government. They don't know who their county legislators are, their state representatives are, maybe not even their congressmen. And it's important that we try and streamline this civic literacy to people so that we can really make that dynamic change by first working in our own local communities and then coming together as a mixture of communities that are collectively united to address these issues for climate change. So during my ambassadorship, I've been connected with a lot of organizations that exist. Most importantly is the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network that was created by Dr. Jeffrey Sachs, Nobel Prize laureate and professor at Columbia University, to help create that international think tank of municipal leaders and as well as academic institutions to address these issues in climate action. This is a way that people could really be able to access resources and figure out what's happening and pull in these programs and initiatives to your own local leaders and have it supported by some of the brightest minds within our international scientific community. Another program that I really encourage all of you to join is the United Nations Environmental Programs Major Group on Children and Youth. This is to allow you to support lots of people, the youth movement within United Nations to help address climate issues and also help streamline resources that can be implemented. It's really, really important as we embrace our resource, the United Nations Association, to help lend our support to other communities. I'm joining Zoom calls through a Wi-Fi network, and I'm sometimes communicating with people that only have access to a mobile hotspot. And these are communities that really need our help, that need our support, because they are unfortunately systematically not able to access the resources to be able to leverage relationships with their local leaders as effectively as maybe you guys, maybe one of you can at the University of Chicago chapter. So it's important that we do as much as we can to enter into these international discussions, lend our support, lend our resources, and really tap into the resources that is the United Nations Association and the World Federation United Nations Association. I always will be willing to serve as a resource to any of you, to share any ideas. I really focus on what's happening on a local level, making sure that your academic institutions have environmental clubs where they can have resources for community gardens to have conversations, food insecurity, and ways that people could really access simple energy saving tips so that people could be able to realize what they could do to help reduce their economic footprint, the economic effects of energy use, as well as streamlining pathways for the reduction of our carbon emissions in compliance with international standards for the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change reports of our needed reduction of carbon footprint. So with that being said, if any of you have any questions or have anything that you'd like for me to lend as a resource to you, please don't hesitate to let me know. This ambassadorship has been a great experience for me so far, and I'm willing to really streamline any resources, especially to your own SDG 13 ambassadors at the University of Chicago, to really help bridge that divide and actually work together. Last organization I would really encourage all of you to join is Arizona State University has a Sustainable Cities Network that I will encourage you to advocate for municipal leadership in Chicago to be able to join. Because it's really important that we do not reinvent the wheel, especially some of us that are pretty much young professionals. It's very tough for us to really be taken seriously. I'm in environmental forums with people that are twice my age. And it's really important that you're able to leverage the intellectual property of people that have the credentials and have the experience to really make this information be taken more seriously. So the organizations such as the Arizona State University Sustainable Cities Network helps you be able to connect with municipal sustainability coordinators all throughout the United States of America to help with streamlining these initiatives that could seamlessly be implemented within your own respective community or the city of Chicago or anywhere within the state of Illinois. So I guess with that being said, I want to make sure I stay within the time, and I want to make you go behind on the schedule, but thank you all for all that you're doing. You guys are the leaders. If you want to be honest, like the work that the United Nations Association is doing, especially at the local chapter level, which is where it's most important. It's second to none. It's really a second to none, especially with the level of energy that chapters of the United States of America have. It really serves as an example for the other national participants of the World Federation of United Nations associations. So thank all of you for your leadership, and also thank you, Maggie, for inviting me to be part of this forum. And I guess I'll end by saying this: please support Madeline Stanton during her bid for National Co-Chair of the Young Professionals Network of the United Nations Association of America. I voted for her. It's very important that all of you do the same too, because she has a wealth of experience as well as a professional background to make sure that a Young Professionals Network stays active, and as well as we stay accountable with each other with the resources that we have the potential to access. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Paul. And just to kind of echo what you said, first of all, yes, Madeline is a wonderful candidate. I'm sure she'll do well. And, to your point of, not reinventing the wheel, UNA USA, the national chapter, has so many affinity groups and so many groups that are already existing that have created, connections to a lot of businesses, a lot of professionals that are already working in some of these spaces. So if anyone is new to this organization, of course, UNA Chicago is doing work at the local level. We're creating local partnerships, but our national chapter, which does most of their work virtually, they have created a lot of affinity groups and a lot of ways to get involved virtually with organizations that are very difficult to connect with just on a personal basis, as Paul was mentioning. So there's a lot of really cool ways to get involved locally and also on a national level, depending on, and if you want to spend 5 minutes a day or 5 minutes a month, doesn't matter. There's a lot of different ways to get involved. So we're here to give you the resources. And thank you so much, Paul, for your leadership as well, and the work that you're doing. I know, especially once you get into the cross-sectionality of a lot of these components, it can be very complicated, but we're very appreciative of all the work that you're doing. So with that being said, does anyone have any questions about the Global Goals program, the ambassador program, whether it is in Chicago or whether it is any questions for Paul specifically? Okay, totally okay if not. So I just wanted to make sure. So we can actually go ahead and move on to, let's see here, if we can. We have the Q&A for the next half hour, 40 minutes or so. We will be presenting our 4th annual Global Goals Awards, which we are super excited about. We have a few different presenters who will be presenting virtual awards to any of the speakers. With that being said, a little disclaimer for anyone that's receiving an award: please make sure you send Amanda your shipping address. We'd love to send you an actual award. So what we'll do is we will present the awards, and then the awardees, if you'd like to take a minute or two to address the membership, that would be great. If you'd like, you definitely do not have to if you don't want to. But I would encourage you to, if you have any ways that members can get involved with your organizations, to let us know. If you're in need of volunteers, let us know. If you're in need of advocates, let us know. Feel free to drop it in the chat. Any links, anything that you'd like to share, I highly encourage it. So let's see here. We will go through our awards, and then we'll have a look ahead at 2022 after that. So I think we can actually get started with our Global Goals Award ceremony. Let's see here. All right, 4th annual Global Goal Awards. So I will actually go ahead and get started with the first one, which is A Better Chicago. So we're presenting an award for no poverty to A Better Chicago. And their mission is to build a more equitable city for our young people and future generations. They know that giving kids the support they need to thrive, which is a great education, and a wage that can sustain a family, the ability to buy a home and live in a safe community, can lead to breaking the cycle of poverty. As a venture philanthropy fund, their model leverages the collective power of Chicagoans who share the commitment to equality. So there's so much we can do together when we align our goals and resources to invest in our community as local leaders. And the bold ideas that they have can transform the lives of millions of family and children. So Congrats to A Better Chicago on receiving this award. I don't believe we have a representative, but I'm going to pause real quick to see if there is a representative from A Better Chicago. Okay, sounds good. All right, well, in that case, I will pass it on to Sandretta, who will present the next few goals.
Can you hear me all?
Yep.
Wonderful. Okay. I'm going to present for Zero Hunger, 62nd Street Community Garden. The 62nd Street Community Garden was established in March 2010. In 2014, it became part of NeighborSpace, Chicago's land trust. During 2015 to 2016, the garden was leveled with new organic soil installed over a soil barrier, and 94 new raised bed plots were created. These plots are leased to individual families for the growing season to independently plant, maintain, and harvest. Their garden is committed to growing food organically and to giving back to their neighbors. Their garden is an inviting green space open to the community. They grow a variety of vegetables in garden boxes along the sidewalks where neighbors are invited to harvest. Many of their gardeners also participate in their gleaning program, where gardeners donate their extra produce to the Hyde Park Kenwood Food Pantry. Congratulations again, 62nd Street Community Garden. If there's a representative that would like to address the membership, please do. All right. Should I go on to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, again, congratulations. Now I'm going to present for Good Health and Well-Being, the Legal Counsel for Health Justice. They meet their clients where they are, as they are, by providing efficient, personalized, and professional legal services. They listen to their clients' concerns, assist them in developing a plan to address those concerns, and then put that plan in motion. They anticipate the evolving needs of their clients, studying the shifting forces that impact their lives to ensure their service delivery meets their needs now and in the future. From their work with individual clients, they identify opportunities where education and system advocacy can be most effective to create meaningful, beneficial changes in their clients' lives. They are most effective when they collaborate internally and with community partners to identify issues, craft solutions, and change systems to benefit their clients. They hire and retain exemplary staff in order to ensure continuity for the agency, and they value maintaining a work-life balance for their employees. They are fiscally responsible, leveraging their resources and fiscal strength to efficiently provide immediate specialized client service. They maximize their diverse funding sources to ensure the sustainability of their work. Congratulations again, Legal Counsel for Health Justice. If there's a representative that would like to address the membership, please do.
All right. I don't believe we have a representative for 3, but I do know we have a representative for 4.
All right, let's move on. Okay, Ividialoka. I'm going to present now for Quality Education. And this is Kiran Paidi with Ividialoka. Ividialoka is a not-for-profit, organization that focuses on transforming the educational landscape of rural India. Registered under the Trusts Act, the organization creates digital classrooms for children in remote villages with the support of local communities and volunteer teachers from across the globe. With standardized lesson plans and teaching aids for a consistent learning experience, the children from government schools receive equality education for a promising and rewarding future. Congratulations again, Ividialoka. I know that you are here, so please, we would love to hear from you.
Hey, thank you all. Good to meet this evening. I'm a student from India. I came here like 2014 as an international student. Then I did my master's. Then I started working in information technology. But from childhood, I was passionate about doing community service. Uh, way back from high school days, I was more interested in community service, helping the people around. So since like last 10 years, I was associated with this eVidya Loka as a member. The bottom line, focus line of this organization, there are many children in India, rural India, where there is no access to quality education like blackboards, teachers, internet, English. So people like me who came to United States, we are fortunate to have a great parents who gave us good education. But what about the people who doesn't have the opportunity to go to the have a great education like English speaking teachers, volunteers. So in order to solve this gap, we came up with a organization called eVidya Loka, which aims to bridge the gap between the haves and have-nots in terms of education. Let's say I'm in United States. I have free time on Sunday. So instead of going and doing some other like my pastime or some doing some other things better, I thought of volunteering for this organization, helping people to teach on remote through internet. So the organization buys a computer, internet, and a quality internet connection in some of the rural villages in South India. Let's say some of us have a great time. Maybe we can spend 1 or 2 hours. So we can log into the Skype, and there are a group of students waiting for us to say hi from United Kingdom, United States, France. People from all over the world can log in and teach them English, maths, science, whatever the subject we are interested. I'm good at maths. Then I start teaching them some formulas. Somebody is good at English. They start teaching them English. So this way, the people in the rural areas of India who are marginalized, who do not have access to quality education, they get to meet teachers or volunteers from all over the world. And this is a non-profit. There is no profit motto involved in it. The only motto involved is to help the children get a quality education, make them very good fluent in speaking English, math, science. So that way they would be an assets for the country. Maybe down the line 10 years they would be competent enough in the areas of STEM like science, technology, English, and mathematics. So the goal here is to bridge the gap of the education system in the rural India. I think this organization is doing a great job. We are a group of people who launched this organization, and I'm one of the team member. There are other team members who are also working relentlessly, very hard to help the people in the rural India. I think I would really request some of you, if you have some time, maybe you can spend 1 or 2 hours teaching people in South India. That way they would be, helping in some of the people in India to get a very quality education. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your work. And if you haven't already, feel free to drop contact information or something so people can get in contact with you. I know a lot of people are very passionate about education and understand what that can do for someone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Awesome. I believe global goal number 5 will be presented by Amanda.
Yes. So Global Goal 5 is about gender equality, and this award goes to the Chicago Foundation for Women. The Chicago Foundation for Women invests in women and girls as catalysts, building strong communities for all. Since 1985, CFW has awarded more than 4,500 grants, totaling over $42 million, impacting over 89, sorry. Of course, I get a call right when this happens. CFW has awarded more than 4,500 grants, totaling $42 million, and impacting over 89,000 women, girls, trans, and gender non-binary individuals in our region. Today, CFW is reimagining what an equitable COVID-19 recovery looks like that centers around women, a true she-covery that focuses on amplifying women's voices, advocating for women's needs more fervently than ever, and ultimately ensuring women emerge from the pandemic stronger than before. To support she-covery, visit www.shecovery.com. And I know we have CFW's CEO, Felicia Davis Blakely, with us tonight.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the staff, the board at CFW, it really is an honor to receive this award tonight and to celebrate with the other award winners. A lot has already been said about the organization, but I do want to say that we, for 35 years, this is our 36th year, we really center the needs of women and girls, have spent significant time. We put time, talent, and treasure to work in our communities, supporting the leadership of women. We address issue areas, access to healthcare and healthcare information, freedom from gender-based violence, as well as economic security and opportunity for women and girls. And as was mentioned for the Recovery, we are bringing together our best thoughts, bringing together coalitions, supporting organizations to really create equitable systems that support women generally, but particularly women of color who've been hit really hard because of COVID. And our goal is to raise an additional $11 million in support for women, girls, trans, and gender non-binary persons. Women continue to be the hardest hit by the pandemic. In December 2020, the US economy lost 156,000 jobs. Women held 90% of those jobs. So Recovery helps to get women back to work, and that's one of the focus areas. Addressing the eviction crises. Before COVID-19, Chicago's low-income renters and households of color were already experiencing high levels of housing insecurity. And the federal moratorium, as we know, for evictions has lifted, and approximately 21,000 households in Chicago are at risk of being evicted. And the overwhelming majority of those households are led by women, and again, and particularly women of color. So Recovery will do things like increase rental assistance, seal COVID-19 related convictions, because that just perpetuates harm into the future when through no fault of all of ours, we've had this global pandemic and women have been laid off and unable to meet some of their obligations, but also caring for our caregivers. Even before COVID, our society is really held together by caregivers, and overwhelmingly that care is being provided by women, and it's often underpaid or unpaid at all. Our caregivers are on the front lines of our families, generally every day, but particularly in the fight against COVID-19. So quality care programs that are affordable for working families require really large scale public investment. So those similar to what the Biden administration has in the American Rescue Plan, really centering some of the care infrastructure, and even having that conversation about care as infrastructure is really important to uphold that and to affirm that this care has value. And then the other top line for our Recovery is really to demand an anti-racist healthcare system. I sit in Illinois, and I am painfully aware that maternal outcomes in my state, that a Black woman who is in childbirth or recently has given childbirth is 6 times more likely to die, and those deaths are preventable. And the leading cause has been implicit bias in the system. And so our efforts is really to prioritize policies that protect women's health, autonomy in their bodies, freedom, and ensuring that they are healthy and have access to affordable and quality health care in Chicago and our region and beyond. It's really what all women deserve, and gender affirming care for all of the gender identities that are expressed in our communities. And so again, we're really honored to be with you all tonight. And on behalf of CFW's team, our 3,000 donors who support this work every year, our board of directors, we really thank you for this honor.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, COVID has shown us how drastic these disparities are. And I think people are finally starting to get it, hopefully. So, with that being said, if you have any links to donations or ways people can get involved, feel free to drop it in the chat if you haven't already. So thank you so much for all the work that you and your organization continue to do. Awesome. We will move on to number 6. So global goal number 6 is being awarded to Environment Illinois for clean water. Environment Illinois' mission is to transform the power of our imaginations and our ideas into change that makes our world a greener and healthier place for all. Every day we see more heartbreaking evidence and damage being done to our planet, and as it relates to climate change, plastic pollution, wildlife disappearing. But we also see solutions all around us, practically begging for us to adopt them, such as solar and wind power, electric cars and buses, and more walkable and bikeable cities. Reusing, repairing things instead of throwing it away. So I know Environment Illinois is leading the charge there. So if there's a representative from Environment Illinois, I'll see if there's anyone online right now. Okay, I don't believe we have a representative. So congratulations again, though. And I know, a common theme will be climate change and topics as it relates to climate change, especially over the last couple of years. That's definitely something of high importance, which is great. Okay, so number 7, clean energy. The Global Goal Award is being presented to the Illinois Clean Jobs Coalition. I know we have a representative here today. So about the coalition is that the Illinois Clean Jobs Coalition is made up of more than 200 consumer, business, environmental, and environmental justice, healthcare, faith-based, and student organizations. And I'm sure the representative will talk a little bit more about this, but I know there's a statement on the recent passing of the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, which I'll go into a little bit more detail on. So after more than 3 years of community organizing and leadership, Illinois Clean Jobs Coalition joins Governor Pritzker, legislative champions, and other stakeholders in the bill signing of the comprehensive climate legislation. So that's a huge one. This is the most equitable clean jobs bill of its kind in the nation. Illinois is officially the national leader in equitable climate legislation. The Climate and Equitable Jobs Act is a bold nation-leading law that will put Illinois on the path to a 100% clean energy future. It'll protect public health from pollution, provide a just transit system for communities which are historically dependent on dirty fossil fuels. And it will enact tough utility accountability measures and create jobs and wealth in Illinois' Black and Brown communities. Our climate crisis is currently not waiting on anyone's work, so the work continues. So I know we have Liliana here.
Thank you so much. Just in time, the presentations, my son just got kicked out of the office, so I appreciate you all being so patient. We are just honored to receive this award, and really for Illinois to be able to demonstrate that we are a nation leader and committed to an inclusive clean energy future. SB 2408, the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, has been years in the making, 3+ years of a lot of community building and organizing and listening and responding to the needs of Illinois. And we're so proud that this bill has the collective support of climate and environmental justice advocates and Black and Brown communities as well, and communities that have been disenfranchised by policies that have affected the communities negatively. And with this bill, we just overjoyed because it truly not only protects the planet and public health, but it builds an equitable and clean energy future for all. And consists of also holding utilities accountable. For those of you who are familiar with Illinois, that is a major win, by ending formula rates, having rigorous new ethics standards. It ensures affordable energy bills and expands consumer protections. It helps transition fossil fuel communities and workers into from coal to solar. It creates and protects good paying carbon-free jobs, and also helps save the planet by setting Illinois on a path to 100% clean energy by 2050 and delivers 100% carbon-free power by 2045. So we're so thrilled. The work doesn't end here and didn't end on September 15th when it was signed into law by our fierce champion, Governor Pritzker. As we head into implementation, I'll add in the chat how we can also continue with implementation, but open to support and involvement from folks in Illinois as we implement everything that we want in CJA.
Yeah, no, thank you. And it looks like you have a few people on the line who are members of the coalition. So that's really
Yes,
exciting.
yes. They really deserve the award. I wish I could cut up the award for 200 plus folks from all over the state. So we celebrate on Friday. So hopefully I can show a picture of the award to them on Friday.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much once again for all the work that you're all doing. All right. Okay, so number 8. Let's see here. Decent work and economic growth this year goes to Best Buddies of Illinois. Best Buddies is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social, physical, and economic isolation of the 200 million people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Their programs empower the special abilities of people with disabilities by helping them form meaningful friendships with their peers, secure successful jobs, live independently, improve their public speaking, self-advocacy, and communication skills, and help them feel valued by society. I don't believe we have a speaker from the organization, but I'll pause just in case. Okay. All right. In that case, I will pass it on to Amanda.
Hi. I will be presenting the 9th global goal, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And this award goes to ThoughtWorks. ThoughtWorks is a global technology consultancy that integrates strategy, design, and software engineering to enable enterprises and technology disruptors across the globe to thrive as modern digital businesses. Sustainability is foundational to being a modern digital business, and they develop technology solutions that enable clients to visualize, assess, and take action on their carbon footprint. Climate change is one of the most pressing challenges faced by humanity, and the tech sector contributes an increasing amount of emissions. At ThoughtWorks, they believe that issues like climate change can only be resolved through global solidarity with businesses, government, and individuals working together to affect change. They support clients, partners, and the broader industry drive toward a more sustainable future together. And I know we have Elise here joining us tonight.
Hello there, everyone. And my colleague Joy is also on the line. Thank you so much for this honor. Even though my background looks like I'm in San Francisco, I'm actually sitting here in the Midwest. ThoughtWorks is, as you said, a global consultancy specifically for technology. And I come from the environmental nonprofit sector and have worked for a long time on environmental policy in the Midwest. And I joined ThoughtWorks because I really believe that the tech sector is sort of one of the next kind of big areas where we can make impact, and we have to make impact on decarbonization. As more and more people go digital and moving from physical to the cloud, and we increase the speed of digitization, we really need to be thinking about the energy use that goes into that. And so the tool that we built is open source, and you can download it off the internet and use it to really understand your cloud footprint. And one of the cool things about it is that it's multi-cloud. So no matter whether you're using Microsoft or Google or AWS, you can look across all the different cloud providers to understand your carbon footprint. And I just wanted to say one more thing. We recently launched a new foundation called the Green Software Foundation in partnership with some of our industry colleagues so that we can all come together and collaborate on new solutions to help our industry decarbonize. So we're really looking for a broader participation from all sectors so we can incorporate those innovations and insights into our work. So consider joining. Thank you so much for this honor.
Great. Thank you for all the work that you're doing. I also have the honor of presenting the 10th global goal, which is reduced inequalities, and that goes to Center on Halsted. Center on Halsted is the Midwest's most comprehensive community center dedicated to advancing community and securing the health and well-being of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people of Chicagoland. More than 1,000 community members visit the center every day, and it's located in the heart of Chicago's Lakeview neighborhood. Center on Halsted works to provide a safe and welcoming environment with programs and services for the entire community. Programs range from volleyball, dance performances, and cooking classes to rapid HIV testing, group therapy, and vocational training. They partner regularly with other organizations and groups from across Chicago and the nation to provide additional programming for the community. It also serves as the incubator for a number of smaller LGBTQ nonprofit organizations called Resident Partners. They provide operational support, space, and resources for organizations that may otherwise find it difficult to interact and grow. And I know we have the CEO, Modesto, here. I think.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
We are so honored to receive this award, especially from this organization where we share so many similar values. And also congratulations to all the other organizations who I've learned so much about this evening, and some of them where we have some good synergies. The center's work is really about building community and eliminating racism, biasisms, and we continue this work. We opened in 2007. We serve our youth, who are 500 youth a year, many of them who are homeless and many of them who come from the south and west side of Chicago. And on the other end, our seniors who come from anywhere the train and the bus will take them to the center unhosted. Unfortunately, many seniors in this time still face lots of prejudice that as they age, they fear going back into assisted living because they have to go back in the closet because assisted livings are not culturally qualified. We have a lot of work to do to build community. We have a lot of work to build a society of full equality. And we have a lot of work to do to build a socially justice world. And so we're honored and thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll also be presenting the 11th Global Goal for Sustainable Cities. And this award goes to Maria Pike, an individual. She was actually not able to make it, but she's a very impressive woman. So I still want to let everyone know about her and her greatness. She is a leader with Chicago Survivors, Moms Demand Action, and RAGE. She's an activist and leader in the survivor community of Chicago and an advocate for public safety and gun violence prevention. She works with at-risk communities to deliver food, masks, and funding, and with city leadership on violence reduction strategies. Following the death of her son, Ricky Pike, she began organizing in the community on behalf of survivor moms to prevent gun violence. At the start of COVID, Maria recognized that not all communities in Chicago would be treated equally. For those left behind, she stepped up to make over 3,600 masks, deliver 4,000 meals, and secure resources for vulnerable members of the Pilsen and Little Village communities. Her personal contribution has undoubtedly saved lives during the pandemic. She is deeply kind, selfless, and a true leader in our community.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for presenting that. We'll see if we can find some links as it relates to the work that Maria is doing as well to share. So I believe with that, we're moving on to Peyton, who will be presenting our next global goal.
Hi, everyone. So global goal number 12 is responsible consumption, and our award winner today is Urban Growers. Rooted in growing food, Urban Growers Collective culminates nourishing environments which supports health, economic development, healing, and creativity through an urban agriculture. Urban Growers Collective aims to address the inequalities and structural racism that exists through the food system and communities of color. Urban Growers Collective uses urban agriculture as their tool and method for this work, operating 8 farms over 11 acres in Chicago and providing job training and education, food access, and community engagement programming. In addition to their 8 farms, Urban Growers Collective has several community projects, including the Green Era Renewable Energy and Urban Farm Campus, which is projected to open in 2023. For more information, visit their website, urbangrowerscollective.org, or connect with them on Facebook and Instagram at Urban Growers Collective. Urban Growers Collective aims to address the inequalities and structural, oh, that's the same thing. Okay, so congratulations again to Urban Growers. If there's a representative that would like to address the audience, please feel free to do so now.
Thank you, Peyton. My name is Laurel Sims, and I'm the co-founder and a farmer with Urban Growers Collective. And Eric and I are both thrilled to receive this award on behalf of Urban Growers Collective and our board of directors and our incredible team that is out in the fields every day harvesting and really being, I think, amazing stewards to the land. On a very geeky aside, when I was in high school, I did Model UN every year that I was in high school and really loved it. It was definitely a piece of what I think developed my passion for the work that we do. Because I think through participation in acting out some of those scenarios, just really seeing how detrimental, really powerful players can be, how power can often lead to corruption. And so really having all nations be able to have a voice, how powerful that is. And I think for us and the communities that we're working with, that has been a huge piece of all the issues that we face. When folks who don't have a say in what their communities look like, that don't have a say in the opportunities that they or their kids or their families are able to have, really causes all of the detrimental things that we see, from like environmental impacts to health impacts into the communities that, especially Black and Brown communities, that really deserve lots better. And so, we've definitely seen through COVID that, 1 in 4 folks right now in Cook County are food insecure. And so it's really just incredibly important to have urban farms so that we can really create that safety net and that security for folks, because it's really hard to do any healing work when you're hungry. And so making sure that folks have access to really good, high quality food is our mission. And we really just appreciate this award. And I dropped our information in the chat, but we're always welcoming volunteers. The more hands, the better for getting as much food out as we can into communities. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know I'm happy to see that actually a lot of our volunteers have been asking about specifically volunteering at local farms, since they are outside. It's a lot easier to keep COVID restrictions that way. So I highly encourage you all to do so before it gets too cold outside if you can. And also just a very small little plug that hopefully next year previously we've had an intergenerational model UN at UNA Chicago, which is very interesting. Anyone from 16 to 100 plus is welcome to join. And it's a very interesting event, but we don't want to subject anyone to a full day of Zoom meetings on a Saturday. So we've put a pin in that for, hopefully we can do that again next year, but just a little aside for something to be on the lookout for next year. So anyway, sorry, Peyton, I will turn it back over to you for number 13.
Thanks, Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
So climate change is our sustainable goal, number 13, and Climate Reality Project, Chicago's Metro chapter, is our winner of this global goal. So the Chicago Metro chapter is the Climate Reality Project, an international organization founded by the US Vice President Al Gore, which was started in 2017 and is open to public membership. It has over 600 members in the region, half of whom have been trained by VP Gore to give his updated Inconvenient Truth slideshow. Our members are among more than 37,000 trained climate reality leaders worldwide. Our mission is to catalyze a local solution to the climate crisis by making an urgent action necessary across every sector of society. We educate the public about the climate crisis and slide presentations and other programs to promote activism. We work on legislation at the state and federal levels, as well as on local climate plans. We advocate for electric vehicles and mass transit, fight oil pipelines, pressure those who fund fossil fuels, and promote a zero waste lifestyle. Our youth action group organizes students at many high schools to work on climate solutions.
We also advocate for regenerative agriculture, urban tree preservation, and frontline communities that suffer most from pollution and climate injustice. Congratulations again to Climate Reality Project. If there's a representative that would like to address the audience, please feel free to do so now.
Yes, on behalf
Hi.
of, hi.
A bunch of us are here.
On behalf of all the volunteers of Climate Reality Chicago, I'd like to thank you very much for this recognition. It's especially meaningful because the UN is really the world leader on climate, and without them, we wouldn't have the Paris Agreement, we wouldn't have the IPCC reports or the regular COP meetings, the world summits. We are within 2 weeks heading into COP 26, which will be especially critical because the climate is degrading very rapidly now. And we're just going to have to see if the world leaders will meet the challenge. They've got a huge challenge. They haven't done enough so far, but we'll be hopeful. But however it turns out, we will keep fighting. Thank you.
Thanks for the award.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and thank you all for continuing to do work at a local level. I know that obviously it's important for national leaders to align with us, but if they don't, that just means we have to work harder locally. So thank you so much for all the work that you continue doing.
Okay, the last award I'm presenting is for Life Below Water, number 14, for the Alliance of the Great Lakes. The Alliance of the Great Lakes is a nonpartisan nonprofit working across the region to protect our most precious resource, the fresh, clean, and natural waters of the Great Lakes. Headquartered in Chicago with staff around the Great Lakes region, we connect and empower people to advocate, give back, and take action to protect the lakes. We do this through advocacy, education, research, and analysis to advance solution to our most pressing clean water challenges. Sustainable Development Goal 14, Life Below Water, calls on us to protect aquatic life around the world. With 20% of the world's surface fresh water, the North American Great Lakes are home to diverse ecosystems, the source of drinking water for 40 million people, and the foundation for a dynamic regional economy. From defending clean water protections to cleaning up beaches to driving equitable investment in Great Lakes restoration, the Alliance works for protecting our water from source to tap, sustaining life below water, and caring for communities around the Great Lakes. And I know we have Annalisa Castle is on the call for the Alliance of the Great Lakes to accept this award.
Hi, thank you so much. Congratulations to all the other organizations being honored. I'm Annalisa Castle with the Alliance for the Great Lakes. You know, and a lot has already been said, but I just want to really underscore that protecting life below water is also critical to protecting all the life that depends on water, including communities like ours in Chicago on the shores of Lake Michigan, drinking Great Lakes water right now. And so I want to thank folks for getting involved. And you asked, you know, if there are ways that people can get plugged into the organization. And with the Alliance for the Great Lakes, we have our Alliance Ambassadors program. So for folks who are interested in learning more, connecting at community events around critical clean water protections, please let me know. We'd love to get you connected with the Ambassador program. Again, thank you so much for this award. It's an honor to be recognized.
Thank you so much. And yeah, of course, if you haven't already, feel free to drop a link to how we can connect. I know our ambassadors are always excited to connect to other ambassadors, so I'm sure they would love to reach out. Thank you again so much. All right, I believe we are moving over to Cecilia, who will present our last 3 goals.
Yes, hello, good evening, everyone. I have the honor to present the award on Global Goal number 15, Life on Land. The award goes to Burnham Wildlife Corridor. The Burnham Wildlife Corridor is a 100-acre ribbon of urban wilderness running through Burnham Park. The corridor is composed of 3 main natural areas, including the Burnham Centennial Prairie, Burnham Nature Sanctuary, and McCormick Bird Sanctuary. The corridor spans both sides of Lakeshore Drive and is the largest stretch of natural area along Chicago's lakefront. Its native prairie, savanna, and woodland ecosystems provide healthy and diverse habitat for migratory birds, and other wildlife, and offer opportunities for visitors to meaningfully connect to these revitalized public green space in ways that inspire nature exploration, enjoyment, and stewardship. The Burnham Wildlife Corridor is home to 5 unique gathering spaces, which have been designed and created and will be activated by teams of local artists and community-based organizations from the Chinatown, Bronzeville, and Pilsen neighborhoods. The BWC, or Burnham Wildlife Corridor, gathering spaces are artistic installations and seating areas reflective of nature and culture that serve as assembly grounds and resting points for people exploring this part of the lakefront. They are located on both the east and west sides of Lakeshore Drive. Welcoming and honoring the Burnham Wildlife Corridor for the award on Life on Land. I believe there are no representatives joining us this evening, so we will move on to the next award, which is Global Goal number 16, Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions. And the award goes to Asian Americans Advancing Justice, Chicago. Asian Americans Advancing Justice Chicago builds power through collective advocacy and organizing to achieve racial equity. They do this by developing grassroots leaders through base building programs such as Kinetic for high school English learners, I Speak Power for adult English learners, and a Just Chai at large community members. They connect communities through coalition leadership, including Just Democracy Illinois, the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights, and the Pan-Asian Voter Empowerment Coalition. Getting out the vote is also a method by reaching out to Asian Americans, increasing participation, and growing the community's power. They work by winning campaigns and exercising power and mobilizing community members to achieve racial equity. I invite a member to representing the organization to address our membership at this point.
Thank you so much, Cecilia. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Grace Pye. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Executive Director of Asian Americans Advancing Justice Chicago. And I'm so thrilled to accept this award. We are so honored to be presented just alongside so many other wonderful awardees tonight, lots of familiar faces. So we know we're in great company. I just wanted to briefly share one of our recent victories over this past year, in response to the anti-Asian racism and violence that we've seen all across the country related to the COVID-19 pandemic, but also existing far before that. We launched an effort to require Asian American history to be taught in all public schools. And we're so excited that we were able to pass that bill this year and that it was signed into law by the governor earlier this summer. And we're so excited to keep working to make sure that Asian American history is taught well in all of our schools. We have this requirement now. That's a huge first step, but we want to keep up the work to make sure that our teachers are equipped to teach this history in a really inclusive and thoughtful and nuanced way. So we, welcome folks to get involved and to help us reach all corners of Illinois, in making sure that teachers have access to the resources that we're developing. And we'll absolutely keep up our work. And thank you so much again for giving us this award tonight.
Incredible work, and congratulations on passing that. I know that's the first step of the battle, and I'm sure you'll be successful going forward as well. Congrats again. All right, I will move it on to number 17.
Yes, and number 17 is Partnerships for the Goals, and I have the pleasure of presenting the award to Chicago Cares. For 30 years, Chicago Cares has mobilized hundreds of thousands of volunteers to build a stronger, more unified Chicago. The results of their volunteer service can be seen in every zip code across the city, from the thriving neighborhood garden in Englewood to the parent mentors armed with books and supplies in Hermosa to the freshly painted signs outside an elementary school in North Lawndale. But Chicago Cares' impact in our city runs much deeper than that. Their long-term trusting relationships with volunteers, nonprofits, and companies give them an opportunity and a privilege to redefine what it means to be a volunteer and to continue to a more vibrant and equitable city. Contribute. Chicago Cares flips the script on traditional volunteerism by creating mutual experiences that make our interconnectedness visible. They are all in this together is their motto, and we all have something to contribute to make this city stronger. Please, I welcome Rosie Drumgold to accept the award.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Cecilia, for introducing me. And thank you for this lovely award. Again, I think Grace just mentioned this, but it is really an honor to receive an award next to so many incredible organizations. I'm a huge fan of Urban Growers Collective, Center on Halsted, the Chicago Foundation for Women. So it's really awesome to be getting this award alongside such wonderful, prestigious organizations. So thank you again. I think I would be remiss for getting a partnership award if we weren't able to thank some of our partners who have been pushing us. We have been on a journey at Chicago Cares over the last, I would say, 5 years to really flip the script on volunteerism and really to move folks from traditional ideas of service as just being a charitable act, as really, thinking about it in forms of, white saviorism to really, anti-racist practices and really decolonizing volunteerism and thinking about how it is actually a very mutual experience and how oftentimes volunteers get more out of their service than what they actually give. And so I think, having partnerships specifically with organizations like Teamwork Englewood and the North Lawndale Community Coordinating Council and the Northwest Side CDC and the Southwest Organizing Project and the Logan Square Neighborhood Association, really organizations who are seen as anchor organizations or lead organizations in their communities, working alongside them and having them push us to be a stronger, better organization that can help build a stronger, more unified and equitable Chicago has really been important to our work, as well as having thousands of dedicated Chicagoans and suburbanites too, who have come and put their hands on our mission and come and put their hands into building the Chicago that we are excited to see in the future. So thank you again for this award. And also I'm going to do a plug because you said I could do a plug. We have lots of programs that are coming up, especially coming up to the holidays. So whether you're interested in getting outside and doing a project, we have a really cool Halloween project that's happening next week in Englewood. That'll be outdoors. We also have virtual programming, so you can get on the phone and talk to folks who are make sure that they are receiving their food boxes that they've ordered. We have just everything. If you're interested in doing some green space work, we have green space programming. You can also do some reading to kids on a Thursday morning. So no matter what your availability is, we have a program for you. Or if you just want to leverage your skills to build a community-based organization, we do have skill-based volunteer opportunities as well. So whatever you're interested in, wherever you want to step in on your civic engagement journey, please trust Chicago Cares. We want to be your partner in that work. Come volunteer, guys. We need you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you haven't already, feel free to drop links in the chat. I know our volunteers are always asking for ways to volunteer with us, and we got to work smarter, not harder. So if you need volunteers, I'm happy to just send them your way. So thank you so much for all the work that you do. And that actually closes our last award. So I just wanted to do a collective virtual congratulations. Or I know before when we were in person, we'd, all clap and have this virtual excitement. I mean, I'm sure you've seen me just like smiling this whole time. I'm so excited about all the cool work that's happening in Chicago. And I just want to say thank you so much for continuing to do it. And thank you so much for, being here. And I know it's maybe silly accepting like an award, but what's really cool is connecting with all these other people who are doing similar work. And, our members are always looking for ways to get engaged, especially if it's something they're very passionate about, whether it's women's rights, trans rights, urban farming, whatever it may be, we have someone that's interested in that. So if you haven't already, feel free to drop your information in the chat, and we'll share it with our members. And as a reminder, anyone receiving an award tonight, please send Amanda your address so we can ship it to you and get it over to you. But with that, actually, I will transition over to Amanda.
Hi. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what's coming up in the future for at UNH Chicago. We do have elections coming up. We have several positions that are open for election. President and vice president are both open, but for those, we ask that people are members and have been involved in UNH Chicago for a while. But we do have advocacy director, special initiatives director, and membership director open. And in a couple seconds, I will actually put the link to the application in the chat if you're interested. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. We are also looking for volunteers, just like everyone else, to help us with the global goals. We actually launched a new human rights group that is working broadly on human rights. And then we have our global goals, our advocacy group that we're looking for volunteers for. And then our next event is Human Rights Day, which is December 8th. So that's coming out as well. I think we have the invite ready. I can put that link in the chat as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, if anyone has any questions on how to get involved with us, feel free to reach out to myself or Amanda, or just our general social media channels. We're always checking those. So I want to say thank you again to all those that participated. We do have scheduled some time for some virtual networking if anyone wants to get in touch with someone else and stay in chat about any sort of projects or anything like that. Feel free to stay, but also no pressure. I know everyone, it's difficult to stay on Zoom for longer than you have to. So I won't be the one to hold you back. So thank you so much again for everyone joining. And I hope to see you all soon, whether it's volunteering with us or volunteering with any of the organizations that are here online today. So thank you so much. I will stop recording at this time. And I will stop screen sharing.